Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's good, everybody? Rafael Chassin in the building, Ralf in the building, El Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to another edition of Straight Outta Nation. More than a Raiders podcast, we're going to talk about Raiders, NFL, college basketball, college football, and of course, the NBA. So right now, this episode is dedicated to all those fans, and of course, because the team is going to be so excited. So we brought two topics, which is Maxx Crosby extended and A-Rod. We're not talking about Ellis Rodriguez from the baseball. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers coming out to the Silver and Black. And right now, we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. So you might know for the shows, Good Morning Nation, and of course, a little bit of shows with Leo, and of course, LB Raider, Jeffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the brave new faces of Raiders content creators. So, what are the rookie of the year? So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jay Raider, as known as Just Raiders, baby. How's it going? Salute to you.
Oh, brother. How's it going?
Very good right now. So, right now, we have the first topic. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, don't forget to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on every social media. And of course, let's start this show right now. All right. So right now, we got Maxx Crosby extended because I understand there's a lot of haters coming out there to blasting off and some persons that just cheer it off. But I know for the social media, because when I was working and then I just figured it out that Maxx Crosby just got extended. And I was like, wow. So that extension means that he cannot be a free agent. He cannot, because don't let it pick it up by the next quarterback. But right now, he really did. Man got paid because hopefully they just stop all those rumors. But the truth is, because everyone's getting tired of all these Maxx Crosby rumors, but right now, Maxx Crosby became the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Just extended for like 3 years with a total amount of $100 million. And of course, 91 million is guaranteed. So I just wanted to tell you, how do you feel about Maxx Crosby, one of the heart and soul of the Raiders defense, got extended?
It's well deserved, bro. I mean, he needed to get paid. I mean, I've been saying for quite a while that he needs to go ahead and get extended. We need to keep him here with us for the foreseeable future. He needs to retire as a Raider. So I'm glad that's out of the way. We don't have to deal with that distractions. We had quite a few distractions over the offseason. Well, during the season and not even in offseason, with him potentially being traded. All that shit, at least for the time being, is going to be squashed. We don't have to hear about that no more. We can go ahead and just focus on putting on a team together for this 2025 season. And I'm excited. I'm happy. Well deserved. He does so much off the field to get prepared just for the season long. And you see what he does during the season. Guy doesn't take a rest, plays every snap. I mean, who the fuck does that we know of, So I'm glad he got his bag. Now it's time just to go ahead and focus on the task at hand, and that's putting together a contender team this year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But of course, I mean, there's like another thing that I would like to address it, because that I was watched like the press conference between Pete Carroll, John Spitek, and of course Max Crosby. I mean, there's already like putting it under the table to make like the defense. So after between like the Max Crosby extension, so that would be so great that we want to see like the defense get a little bit, but also there's like the contrary side, which is like the cap space, because we all know that after all the extension of Matt Crosby, it became so much bigger about the cap space. And after we just saw the news of Matt Crosby and Gardner Minshew getting cut, I mean, there was like a lot of difference between for like stepping enough to the game. So after Gardner Minshew getting cut and Matt Crosby get a stand-in, so we have a lot of faith to put in like some like great athletes coming up there for like the free agency coming out there, because I know the free agency is right now on March, but right now it seems that a lot of free agency coming out there, because there's like wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. I mean, there's gonna be like a lot of madness coming up there on the free agency.
Mhm.
I think you muted.
Am I muted?
Oh
I think
no,
I'm
no,
muted.
you muted. So I was asking. So I was asking.
What was your question, bro? Sorry.
Oh, about like the free agency coming up there after the extension of Max Crosby, and then the Gardner Minshew's getting cut right now. They have a tons of cat space, so there's like a lot of free agency coming up there.
Right. hmm So, are you asking like who's gonna
Yeah, who's
who are we
gonna
looking at?
happen like the free agency? Who's gonna pick an
Okay.
out like the right receiver?
So I mean, obviously we need a lot of help offensively. Quarterback is the biggest position that we definitely need help in. But also too, wide receiver, running back room. The wide receiver, obviously, the free agency market for wide receiver is not is not deep. It's kind of shallow. So
Mhm.
aside from Devontae Adams, which I definitely do not want back with us, you have Chris Godwin out there. Had the list the other day, but there was Chris Godwin, for sure, our old guy, Matt Collins. He's out there, and I would love to go ahead and bring him back in Silverback, either in a wide receiver three kind of scenario. He's always dependable. The guy's a workhorse, definitely a
Mhm.
lunch pail guy. You got, I mean, but other than that, you got Tyler Lockett, which is could be a potential option. DeAndre Hopkins, um, but other than that, the the class is not very deep. I mean, you can potentially make a bid at Darius Slayton, but even that, I'm kind of up in the air with. But um, really, right now, the talk of the town is probably
Mhm.
doing the trade for DK Metcalf. My thoughts on that probably would not happen until we get the quarterback situation figured out. Once we got that figured out, then we can potentially make a trade because it's just a trade. Meaning he's not on the open market quite yet. He's being shopped around, so the team with the best offer basically wins. So we have a little bit of time. We don't have to make a move quite yet. But I feel more importantly, it's the quarterback position, which that's a solid position in itself too in free agency. I mean, you have Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, Justin
Mhm.
Fields, now potentially Aaron Rodgers to be included into that mix. So out of those four quarterbacks that I mentioned, that's really it. Anybody else is kind of lower on the totem pole.
Yeah.
I mean, you could add maybe a name or two there, but even that is just those are not high quality guys that would be either making good bridge or at least be with us to make some sort of future for the next 2 3 years. So
Yeah, exactly.
running back class, I mean, you got the word out that we're probably looking at Najee Harris, which I'm not quite mad at. If it happens, that's cool. I heard Abdullah might be coming back as well. But with this draft class at running back, that should be our primary focus to go ahead and pick up a few guys from there. I would say probably like either one or two guys. You can definitely do it. If and we
Yeah,
have the ability
exactly.
to go ahead and do that. Cap space. I mean, honestly, with the whole cap space, even if just by Maxx being extended, we don't know if it's going to really hurt the cap
Mhm.
space. I doubt it hurts it. Um, I think his contract's set out to about 35 and a half per year. The cap space, so you guys know, I mean, it's being raised. It's going to get raised anywhere from about 10 to about $15 million per year. So we're going to get more money coming. We're going to let go. We're going to cut Gardner Minshew. We're going to release him next Wednesday, but most likely either
Mhm.
they're going to designate the cut either that day or they might put it towards June 1st, and that gives you a total of about just over 9 mil that you save in cap space. So that's maybe another $10 million. So we'll be over the 100 million mark for sure. So to
Yeah, exactly.
worry about Maxx and how he affects, he won't. He won't. This is something we had to do.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure that some other guys get signed on too. That we need to bring back Spelling, Chase Han, Morrig. Those are my top three guys left that needs to be re-signed for sure. Everybody else we can kind of look at a fine tooth comb and evaluate as needed. But those are the core
Mhm.
guys that definitely need to be brought back.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And of course, what I just saw all around for like the social media, they say those players are getting to release at about this weekend. There is Devontae Adams, there is Joey Bosa, Eva Ingram, Taylor Lockett. Also, there is Darius Slay. I mean, there is like a thousands, just like thousands of free agency coming up there. But I know that there's one free agent that I was like pretty shocked, but he also got like the best and the worst because they just sign in into a free agency like signing former Bengals online, which is Alice Kappa, some online depth. But of course, I mean, he was playing at the Tampa Bay when Spite was there, but he was part of the front office scouting with the drafting. I mean, he just struggled like Tampa Bay coming out for all the small school. But I remember because our primarily backup, right guard behind Parham, I mean, also it just make a like a questioning to bump out his guards to move like JPJ to center full time, but this signing will be outside to the comeback pick formula. So there will be like no cost or no risk tie for the team. For I'm very sure there's gonna be like a little guarantee money. But
Mhm.
check this out. I mean, between for like all the issue between for Alice Kappa, he had one of the worst seasons in the NFL last year because he has first in sacks allowed, first impressions allowed, and first in carries allowed. I mean, he's beyond Barry Cook. I mean, if you go for the like to put on the stock, that it's not like the kind of the sign you 200 to see about it. I mean, he had literally like the worst season in the NFL last year by alignment. I mean, that was really bad.
Mhm. I mean, it's not the greatest pick, bro. I mean, it's that I see that more as depth. It's not. He's not a guy who's going to potentially start. Um, I know you mentioned Param, but Param look didn't look good this year either, man. He's pretty terrible. I mean, he got beat off the line a lot from the games that I watched. So, I don't know whether or not they're going to go ahead and decide to keep him back per se. But I mean, Alex
Mhm.
Kappa, that looks like to me it's just a depth acquisition. Yeah, not ideally where I would want to go ahead and not the ideal person that I would choose, but it
There you
happened.
go.
It is what it is, right? But um, we still need depth at that position. So um, I feel that the missing pieces for the O line is going to come from the draft. It's not going to come from free agency. If you look at everybody who's available for offensive linemen in this free agency class, it's not it's not that deep. It's and we're not it's not there's not really anybody that stands out that's like turning heads, right? I think Trey Smith
Mm,
was the one. on that list, but he got tagged last week or a week and a half ago, however long it was. I think about a week ago, and he's staying in KC for another year. So that really was the only person that, if he really did hit the open market, we were definitely gonna go ahead and take a stab at, right? But that didn't work out. So now I feel that the missing pieces, especially what we saw in this combine, there's quite a few guys that we can go ahead and get. Gray Zabel being one of them. Um, me, Will Campbell, another person. Even though he dropped a little bit in the combine, he's still strong. Milam is another person that you guys got to go ahead and look out for. So there's options. There's options. Doesn't necessarily, you don't have to grab all your pieces from free agency. Definitely, if you do it correctly, it could be a mixture of both. Um, but obviously, there's certain positions that need to be veteran led, and other positions that you can go ahead and take a flyer on a rookie for sure.
I mean, that's very great. But also, I mean, that will be fine for Alice Kappa. Will be a backup. I mean, it's just like at a small number that are just very likely, because I know the offensive line prospects in the draft are very thin. But I would love to anticipate to spending like extra money on online the free agency. Obviously, Alice Kappa is cooking in terms of a player, but a good bet for Jackson Powers Johnson and other young guys to lean on, because I know he's not starting material, but I think it's gonna be like really, really great. But this is like the White Harrison last year, because we all know that he just sucked because he just kind of, because of the staff previously worked with him. But hopefully it's gonna be like a small deal with minimal guarantees. I mean, I really thought it's gonna be really happening at all, but you know what? I mean, it all starts at the beginning for like the whole defense. And right now, I mean, there's gonna be like a lot of to go interesting about like free agency. And of course, we got the second topic, because after we just talking about Maxx Crosby, a lot of this in free agency. So right now, Aaron Rodgers, because I understand between for like the interview of Maxx Crosby, he wants Aaron Rodgers to be a quarterback for the Silver and Black. I mean, that absolutely, I was like, that's a hard pass. That's a hard pass, because I know between for like the quarterbacks tire and of course the free agency, because everybody thought they're gonna sign it Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Also, there is Sam Darnold. They dropped Matthew Stafford because everybody thought that Matthew Stafford could lean in at the Silver and Black, but he just signed up an extension with the Los Angeles Rams. But right now, I don't think it's gonna be really safe to sign Aaron Rodgers to get in off of the Silver and Black, because after the whole drama of Devontae Adams joining up for Aaron Rodgers for the New York Jets, that really sucks it at all. But I think they gotta just keep like moving in the way, because I know they just wanted to move on. Because when it comes to like the terms, it's just like I don't know what's gonna be happening, bro. Because I will be the surprise if we're gonna see everything. Because I really thought that you're gonna be burned like the stadium Milton's time. But I know if we had a better team, I would say like for the right price, it wouldn't sign for like everything. Because if you can either the one addition to drafting a quarterback, and they will definitely like one set to a better mentor to a rookie than the current roster. I mean, there's no point in drafting or signing a quarterback until the Raiders get the right, until we decide what the vision of the offense will be. Because after they just signed Pete Carroll and of course John Spitek, I mean, that would be like a huge no for Aaron Rodgers. I understand it's a free agency, but did it take like a flyer knock him? I mean, no, it's not going to be happen. Oh, yeah, yeah, that was asking between like an Aaron Rodgers. So I was asking if Aaron Rodgers could land it at the Silver and Black. So my answer could be no.
Yeah, I don't want him here. Not aside from just the whole ego thing and just potentially bringing that toxicity level to the team. If you really look at because I know what everybody's take on it is. The ones are really for that move. That one he'll come in cheap. Two, he put up all these yards last year. For one, there's no indication that Aaron Rodgers will come in for the league minimum. He might ask for $10 million or more. There's no indication that he won't do it. I mean, he could ask for that. I mean, I think $10 million for him is already more than enough, more than a lot. Two, look at what he did last year. 5-12 record. Three of those losses, they scored under 10 points. Most of the other losses out of the 12. So that's nine. The nine losses the rest of the 9 losses that they had was around 20 points or less. So I mean, that's literally what we had. We had trouble scoring more than 20 points per game. A lot of the games that we could potentially had won, we had to score more than 20 points, and we failed to do that. And I don't see being any different here if we have Aaron Rodgers coming. Now, mind you, Aaron Rodgers had weapons. He had Lazard. He had Garrett Wilson. He got Devontae Adams more than half of the season, and he still couldn't get it done. I don't see it being any different here if he comes to Vegas. All it is going to be just another distraction, and also just bring more toxicity and really the playing level. I don't really see him changing any much. Also, too, I don't think he'll fit into the scheme that Chip Kelly's going to go ahead and bring out. It looks like it's going to be a variation of a RPO, which is run play option type of offense with a run game. But it's a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, not a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. This all made sense 2-3 years ago, right? When Devontae was here, we just let go of Carr. That would have made sense. Definitely. I was happy when I heard about that. But seeing the season that he just had, he suffered that injury, and I don't see him coming back from that. Just to be honest, it's we saw the type of season he was able to produce, and it's just I think it's time for him to hang it up. Also, too, he's not. I don't think he's officially released. Maybe I'm wrong, but he hasn't really indicated yet whether or not he's going to decide to keep on playing or if he's going to retire. So for all we know, he can decide tomorrow, hey, you know what? That's it. I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to retire. So,
Yeah, I think that is true.
Point, at the end of the day, so it might not even happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the one. I know everybody's on that. Well, he'll be good for that 1 year. No. Those are the options. Like a Justin Fields.
There's like
a better sense. You have him here from a 2-year contract. His market value is around $6.5 million per year. So you're still getting him on the cheap end. You're not breaking anywhere beyond $20 million a year, which I don't know. Something was posted regarding that. They had mentioned that they're not going to go ahead and the Raiders are not going to spend a lot of money on a quarterback. So if that's the case,
yeah, it is right.
Fields is going to be making sense. Even Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's still not my favorite, but he'll also make sense in this type of offense. So
I know it's right. Yeah, but I mean, the real thing is, between Russell Wilson, that could be really happen because I don't want it to see Aaron Rodgers to the silver and black. All he can do on his Steelers was throw out like at the balls to have receivers to get him. Unfortunately, they're not because that Russ with the Broncos is Russ to everything. Not has very correctly at all because they don't want to see Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Donald, but they know sure they just want them. They all the board to all of this because they give you like something about like the defense and of course the accuracy. But very sure like at the very years, because I understand there's like numerous teams that are getting this press that are play elsewhere. But I really understand because I really know that if they cannot sign a free agency quarterback, they don't want to see like a drafted. I mean, where's Gardner Minshew and Garoppolo? I mean, where's Josh McClown, Jonathan Culper, Kerry Calkins? I mean, Carlson Palmer. I mean, they're a kid to a reasonable price, but they're not like they've been trying retreads for like 25 years. I mean, they know exactly what it comes to between Jimmy Garoppolo and Gardner Minshew. But I understand because that was like the defensive coach that were brought him, they were jacking away and still managed about. Because the issue about searching a quarterback is because they don't really about like the situation 20 years ago or 10 years. Because they were like at the Super Bowl conversation for years in the late 90s and early. Because they have a couple retreads because the draft capital was really awful after writing their franchise quarterback. Remember, Rich Gannon, and then we suck. Then we just got Jamarcus Russell at the first overall. Then clung for him for like few years, all the way to sucking. Another great quarterbacks came around. Then we got Derek Carr. After a couple of retreats that was sucking, they have enough until 2 years ago. He was like a legit franchise quarterback, and people added something like the proven formula that opposite they were doing, but they were literally like celebrating. But I mean, they made it like a reality check because how are they gonna do about it? It's a low probability formula because when is it gonna really happen at all? Because I understand if we need to trade it up like at a quarterback which is at the highest level, I understand about like the scheme and the system of the head coach. That'll be great. So we don't want it to see like at another watch quarterbacks coming out there, so it's not making it, so it's not making it great, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
And
agree.
I understand it about it because we don't want it to see like at another watch up quarterback, which is like a between for like veteran, because we need to something to get built enough to help Aiden O'Connell. So I know that Aiden O'Connell could be like a mobile backup, but I really understand between for like the situation coming up there for anything. So I understand that Aiden O'Connell could be good, but it's also a mobility could change a lot because he needs to understand a little bit better. Because I know that he's been on the Raiders for like a few years after he was drafted by Purdue, so he needs to understand what he needs to get understand with a lot of veterans coming out there. A lot of veterans can't even succeed with a rookie quarterback, but I understand there's one better quarterback that really understood about like the powerful, meaning like the mentorship and the leadership of mobile quarterback, which is like the backup.
Mhm.
And I really understand that maybe Aiden O'Connell could be like the answer because I just wanted to tell you because could be like the answer. I mean, Aiden O'Connell could be like the answer, or could be like a more than go to like shifting off for like the backup to starter. I mean, for the season.
No, man, that dude is not the answer, bro. I mean, come on
Oh,
now.
okay.
You know, that's why I'm like no on Aaron Rodgers. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just trading one bad thing for another. Why do you think everybody's asked? What do you think everybody's talking about? The Raiders need to go ahead and find a quarterback. Why? Because
Okay.
Aiden O'Connell cannot do it. Everybody sees it. We all see it. I mean, there is progression. The thing is that we're gonna have to wait a long time for that dude to progress. There's a ceiling for that dude, and for him to be able to get us deep in the playoffs is really a pipe dream, in my opinion. Um, I think I looked up his record the other day, um, and I mean, what I think out of 16 games he started, um, he's only won like 7 or something like that, right? Yeah. So I think out of 17 games, he started 17 games. So out of 17 games, he only has 7 wins. Come on
Mm-hmm.
now. That just goes to show. Yeah, he could put up all the stats, but the stats don't translate to wins, man. You know. So
Yeah, I
I
understand.
feel that yeah, it's not he's not the one. We know what we're gonna get with Aiden O'Connell. Even if we have a season where we're like
Mm-hmm.
8-9 or 9-8, which is I think honestly the best we'll ever get out of him. We're never gonna. I don't think we're gonna be able to get like a 13-4. I'm sorry, a 13-5, or not a 13-5.
Yep.
13-4, 12-5 type season. We're not gonna get that. Not from him. You know. It's always
Yeah,
gonna
I
be eight and
understand.
nine, 9-8. So he's never gonna get us over that plateau. So for us to think that Ed O'Connell is gonna
Okay.
be the savior, and he needs to be paired up with Chip Kelly and all this shit, it's not, man. He's not. I don't even know if Chip Kelly's a quarterback whisperer, and if he was, I don't even think that it would work with this kid. He just can't run. We've seen it. I mean, every time he attempts to run, the guy just falls apart, gets injured. He's not the one, man. So
I mean,
there's there's
exactly.
other, there's there's other options. At quarterback and free agency, obviously the draft. That we can go ahead and start putting together. But I'm gonna tell you this: Aiden O'Connell's not gonna go anywhere this season. I don't think. I
Mm,
definitely don't see that happening. He's either gonna be QB2 or QB3. He's on a rookie contract. He's cheap. He's just about $1 million. We don't really gain anything from cutting him. I think we just saved like 600,000, which is really not a lot. So might as well just keep him
yeah,
here to have him as that emergency quarterback. I'm totally down with that. He's good to be that backup quarterback, and that's his role. That's always going to be his role.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
it could be
some guys are just they're like that. Some guys are meant to be starters, and they're
Mhm.
starters most of their careers. Sometimes they're starters and end up being backup quarterbacks through different injuries and things that they go through. And some guys they're just good enough to be backups, and that's kind of what we're looking at with Aiden O'Connell. Um, you know,
Yeah, I understand about it. And of course, I just wanted to tell you though, thanks for joining this episode. I know that Jay, you got dad duties because I
I
understand
got
about
that. I
it.
got to bounce out a little bit, yes, sir.
Yeah, I understand, but I just wanted to tell you that where can we find you on the social media? Because, well, I understand that some collaborations didn't work very well, but I would love to see that because we're just getting like it up for like a few weeks. Because I understand you have a show called Good Morning Nation. Also, you have collaborations
Now,
with LB
good
Raider and
morning,
everything.
Raiders. Good morning, Raiders. Good morning, Raiders,
Yeah.
brother. Yeah. So, yeah, I got quite a few shows that I have currently going on. I have Good Morning Raiders. That is the flagship show. That's on every damn
Mhm.
Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. That is a guest show. So I have guests on every week. I have a big guest coming up on Saturday. So definitely everybody needs to go ahead and tap in, hit that subscribe, turn on those notifications for sure. Big show that day. My Monday show, Raiders Unfiltered, 9 p.m. Pacific. That's after Cheetah Linus, Buddha Raider podcast. So I do that every Monday, and then I do the panel show with my boys, the Raider Connection, Cheetah Linus, LB Raider 10, my guy, Jeff New England Booster. Every damn Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. You guys can obviously go ahead and check me out on my socials. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my channel right here. You guys can go ahead and click on that and
Uh-huh.
subscribe for sure.
Yep. There you
But
go.
thank you. Yeah, and then on my socials, Instagram JRaider_505, JRaider_505. Same thing on X, TikTok, same handle, Threads. I'm on all of them. Uh, and make sure you guys go follow because sometimes I can't post because I'm about to get monetized, so I can't post certain things on the channel
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
On YouTube says no, we don't like that, so we're gonna go ahead and penalize you. I don't want to get any anything towards this channel. I don't want to get any strikes. And I'm really, really working hard to get that set up, and I'm almost there. So yeah, I'll be like TikTok and X. They're pretty good. They're pretty open for them. They let a lot of stuff go. Instagram is it's okay. So same thing with Threads because there's
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
but
Mhm.
X is cool, man. I'm on X quite a bit quite a more often because I'm kind of trying to grow that social media platform a little bit. So because I eventually I want to go ahead and start doing lives on that. But yeah, make sure you guys go check me out. I got a show on Saturday, big show, big show. So make sure you tap in. I might go on a little bit tomorrow with Jeff's show. I know Jeff does his things Friday night, so I might pop in for
Mm,
a little bit there. We'll see. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I just wanted to tell you that make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho and of course to J Raider, as known as Just Raiders Baby. And of course, I understand that, well, after that, I was doing a lot of work because, well, believe me or not, because just today, when I was in a work shift between all the morning, all the afternoon, that I was checking in all this news at the same as Crosby. So yeah, I know this captain is gonna get this money, gonna get this bread because it's not gonna be really easy. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining at this episode of Straight Outta Nation. So I know it's gonna be like something very interesting about tomorrow morning, but I can talk it about like the Maxx Crosby and everything. So I just wanted to tell you. Make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho and, of course, our special guest, Jay Raiders, known as Just Raiders Baby. And I just wanted to tell you,
yes,
in the
sir.
words of Al Davis, just win, baby. And, of course, I will see you there at the next episode of Straight Outta Nation. Only Raiders. There's only Raiders. There's no Chargers. There's no Chiefs. There's no Broncos. There's only Raiders, baby. And we all know that Raider Nation is a motherfucking family. It's all about the DNA. It's all about the family. So, yes, sir.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Peace out and salute to y'all.